So we left from Leicester south and across at Dover to Ostend, Belgium, through Belgium into Germany, and then down Germany into Switzerland, Italy. The D1, 2, 3, etc., D9, these are days on the road traveling, not including the days we spent in Corfu, sort of thing, and that sort of, or the days in Athens. And then eventually day 15 traveling in Istanbul, Turkey.
We owe a great deal of gratitude to Klaus, who worked alongside me in Leicester, because he was able to go. He was going back to Germany, and he was the agent there, and he was able to give us a ride all the way through Germany from Leicester, and really we started hitching properly in Switzerland. Wonderful covered bridges and interesting architecture there, and but we kept moving. We weren't really taking too much time to look at all the beautiful things, because we left England with a limited budget. It wasn't very much at all, a couple of about £250, which was to get us all the way to Australia. We went through the mountains and into Florence, or Venice, Firenze, as the Italians call it. Beautiful architecture again, wonderful. Love these old buildings. Here's Paula sitting down looking at all of the architecture. We did get to see some of the famous ruins of Rome as well. Emmanuel Palace down there. And then we eventually went across from this place, Brindisi. This is a ferry going across to Corfu in early morning. In Corfu we met with wonderful horse rides. Here's Paula with her nice suntan. Our sleeping quarters. On the island of Corfu we found a nice place to pitch our tent in the olive groves. Had a nice view, and we could see the sunsets from there. This is our beach. We're up there on the left. Yeah. Sunrise going into Athens, and we did see a bit of the Greek history, but sorry to say we were only a couple of days in Athens, and then on the road again. Wonderful, wonderful architecture. It was just amazing. But our objective was to keep going, and so we didn't spend too much time. We tried to sleep in our tent, see a plane going off into the sunset from Corfu, in Athens.
In Istanbul, we went through the Bosphorus into the Black Sea, Trabzon, Samsun, and then across the top end of Turkey into Iran, north part of Iran, Tehran, and then Mashhad, and then into Afghanistan, starting in Herat, down to Kandahar, then up to Kabul, then through the Khyber Pass to Pakistan, and then in India, we went to Delhi, then down to Agra, and then eventually across to Varanasi, and then by bus up to Kathmandu, Nepal. We flew from Nepal, stopping in Calcutta, then in Bangkok, then down the coast, down to Thailand, into Malaysia, across to a small island called Penang, then back to Malaysia, and then down to Singapore. Singapore, across to Indonesia, so the Sumatran island, the big one, close to Singapore, then to Jakarta in Java, and then to the small island of Bali.
In Istanbul, we thought it would be a good idea to get the ferry through the Black Sea. So we went down through the Bosphorus into the Black Sea, and then it was good for us because we didn't have to do anything, hitching. But as soon as we got off, we were able to get a ride in this truck. It took us all the way to the Iran-Turkey border. And, I mean, yeah, Iran-Turkey border, yeah, Turkey-Iran border. That's when we started seeing more of the beautiful mosques and some of the ruins of mosques as well. Wonderful sights. This is in Mashhad, the Blue Mosque, and these old ruins are just to the side of, on the eastern side of Iran, or Persia as it was called. These people are so tiny, look at those minarets. An outdoor washroom. This is in Herat, Afghanistan. This is Kabul, Afghanistan. On the way down through towards the Khyber Pass, and then you arrive in Pakistan. You'll see the roads are quite, oh, this is India as well. The same sort of thing. You have animals blocking the road, and they don't move them because they are holy animals in Hindus, in the Hindu world. We did get to see the Red Fort in south of Delhi, and then over to see, down to Agra to see the Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is on the river Ganges, and it's quite a sight. Think of that beautiful place being a palace, but it's really a mausoleum to the man's wife. He must have really loved her. Spent so much money to build that, but such a work of art. Here we are on the river Ganges, at the river in Varanasi, where they do the body burning, and then we went up to Kathmandu in Nepal by bus. That was quite scary on the bus, that is. That's the sort of bus. People taking his pet for a walk. Wonderful shopping areas. In this place here you have a hashish and ganja shop on the second floor, restaurant on the first floor. Flew over to Bangkok. We're now in Bangkok. We're thinking about heading south to Malaysia. But we did have a couple of days in Bangkok to see some of the sights, palaces and temples all over the place, you know. So eventually, heading down into Malaysia, it was easier to be understood and make ourselves understood in Malaysia. Thai, being a tonal language, is really quite difficult. It's like Chinese in that sense. Ma, 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 ma. You know, mean different things. They went to Timland, Thailand in miniature. And it was worthwhile because we got to see them weaving and doing dance exhibitions and elephant handling logs and things. So it was all in one place, and it was close to Bangkok, so it was kind of convenient for us. We didn't want to be going up all the way up to Chiang Mai. We focused in on just keep going. Here, this shows how the water buffalo plows the rice fields. This is over in Penang Island in Malaysia. Really quite an interesting place because it's so quiet and really way, way back in the rural days, nothing, you know, no electricity in places, and it's wonderful. See, Paula's got a bit better tan now in that picture. From Penang, we went back onto the mainland, and they drive on the left side of the road, same as in England, and so this is the American Embassy in Singapore. Looking out from Singapore towards the ocean, all you can see is trucks, buses. Get it right? Ships and barges. And we got a ride on this vessel. We spoke to the captain, and he gave us a price, which was about $10. So we went across on that to Sumatra. Indonesian lady, and that helped us in Borobudur. This is where the wonderful old temple. Bali. Oh, no, sorry, Java. Wonderful sunsets in Indonesia. They were taking out long nets, and then when they came ashore, then they started pulling them in, and you can see that they were quite effective. This is in Denpasar, Bali, and now that is at the corner of the road in Kuta village. You get your water from the well, and you do your laundry there. This is the only restaurant they had at that time. It was called Garden Restaurant because it was in his garden. Ladies selling batik and sarongs. Baby just getting christened and make offerings of money being given to the baby. I'm blessing the baby or holding the baby while it's being blessed. I'm not blessing it. There's a priest doing that. Wonderfully, beautiful children. So, I mean, aren't they all? Babies of every species are beautiful. They're cows. The boy said, "Hey, do you want a coconut, mister? We'll sell you one." So they climb a tree. "Which one do you want?" Bang, send it down to you. I'm wearing a barong mask, standing in the midst of banana trees. Just down from where we were staying is at a hotel, a fancy hotel. And that was the only thing there. We were staying in the village with the people. And they even still have fighting cocks, or cockfights. As I said, wonderful sunsets. Beaches were deserted because there was only like 25, 30, or maybe 50 people, foreigners in the village.